look at this. In true Ace fashion, he started the fun without me. So today is Tuesday of week 5. Yesterday, while I'm still at work, I called Ace and I was like, hey, or I texted him at around maybe 2 something, and I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm gonna start putting together the bed, because we ordered it a couple weeks back when I get home this evening. So I was just wondering if you're gonna go to training or if you are gonna be home to help me. You know, either way, I don't care. And he's like, oh, I'm doing it now. He's always doing the fun stuff without me. So the bed is put together and I think it looks really, really good. I'm not gonna, it's covered in blankets and stuff right now. So I'm not gonna like show you until like the big reveal, but the bed is put together. And this rug, look at this rug. You guys, I wanted a kind of floral rug that had kind of greenish undertones, and this rug absolutely fit the bill. I got it on Wayfair. It is even more beautiful in person. I absolutely love it. I will link it below. Oh my goodness, it just looks so good. I love, love, love it so much. The footboard on the bed, something that concerned me is that it's a teeny bit low. Once you get the bed made, the comforter will probably cover up most of all the mattress and then most of the box spring, and then that way on a regular day when the bed's fully made up, you'll only be able to see the footboard. So I don't know, we have to finish and see just how everything comes together all by itself. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. I just love this rug so much. So we still don't have closet doors, but that's gonna get worked on this weekend. In the meantime, there's a lot of little finishing touches that I need to get started doing in here right now. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm finishing up the last touches with the floors. I don't think I showed on the previous video, but I had to cut away some of the trim to be able to fit the laminate flooring under there. I've done this a couple times at this point, so I know how to fix it. You do need some tools for this. I use my multi-tool. All you do to fix this is use what's called a plinth, P-L-I-N-T-H. Fit it to the bottom of the door frame, and then you use a multi-tool or whatever next best tool that you have. Cut that portion out of the door frame to fit the plinth, and then secure it in there. You can use finishing nails, but I actually prefer to use wood glue. I discovered this trick when I was doing the flooring in my office, and I had to hack away at some of the trim around the doors to be able to lay the floor down. I was freaking out because I thought I completely ruined the trim, and you would just see that gap in the floor. But this is a really easy way to cover it up and to make it look nice. After we put in the new baseboards, they didn't completely cover some of the damage done to the drywall when we removed the old baseboards. So I'm caulking the seams right now, and I would strongly recommend this caulking tool. Got this on, I think, Amazon a while back, and it's a complete game changer. It makes caulking seams a lot less messy and a lot more seamless. So I'm caulking all the seams on the new baseboard. Then I let this dry at least overnight, came back a day or 2 later, and then I used joint compound to make those repairs to the drywall. Let that dry overnight, came back a day or 2 later, sanded it smooth, and then I hit it with some touch-up paint. So it's now the weekend and we're getting started with working on the doors. This is the last major component of this entire project. I'm going to show you what I'm planning on doing. This is another idea that I got from Pinterest. I used this particular article right here. This was very easy to do because in her project she covered her doors with pieces of plywood. As you saw previously, we detached our doors all together and we did end up donating them, I think, to Restore Warehouse. We bought new slab doors entirely, and the doors that we bought were completely flat because I knew that I was going to want to do this project. So this was was already a lot less work, so that cut a lot of the work that I had to do in half. I use these, can't remember what these would be called. I think dowels, thin wooden square dowels that we got at Home Depot. I cut them down to size, and then I eventually used wood glue to stick them on. After it was all dry, we hung them up, painted them, and then added some hardware I had left over lying around from a previous project. All in, this was a pretty fun project, and I really like the idea of kind of updating and modernizing doors using just pieces of wood and trim and some paint. So we ran into our roadblock hanging up the lights. As you can see in the video, screw holes that were already pre-drilled on either side of the metal went beyond the wooden slats. At first I felt defeated, but then I decided I would try drilling directly into the metal plate, and lo and behold, it actually worked. The metal is quite thin and honestly probably pretty cheap, but thankfully that made it extremely easy to drill through, and I was able to drill holes directly into the metal plates horizontally so that I could screw the plates into the wood slats. So we've now finally arrived to the fun part. I just realized in the background there you can see the closet messy with no doors. The doors are actually the very last thing we did, but I just put it in the middle of the video. So now we're finally decorating and putting finishing touches. I tried my best to decorate this space with things I already had. A lot of the stuff that you see me using is thrifted or refinished by me. This black dresser, I refinished it myself a couple years ago. That really pretty vintage mirror tray and that little ring holder I got from thrift store a little while back as well. These little boho fan things I've had for quite some time I got from a thrift store as well. This cool fan reed thing, I don't really know what it is, but I thought it would be a cool decorative element to put on the wall. You see there, you can see it was 25 cents, but the thrift store that day was actually doing like everything in the store is 50% off, so I paid like 12 cents for that. Three, two, one. Here is the finished product. OMG. First of all, can I just say I absolutely cannot believe we did this in 5 weeks. The day I'm filming this little reveal of the room was on Christmas Day. So we went right down to the wire. Over the last couple of weeks, whenever I walk by this room, I sometimes poke my head in and I'm just in complete shock and awe that we actually managed to do this in such a short time frame. We usually really drag ourselves with projects, but with this one, we really had to hustle because this room was going to be in use. I didn't film the reactions, but when my parents arrived later on, they were stunned. They loved the room. They thought it looked beautiful. They have stayed with us before, but the room did not look like this before. Sorry the big reveal was a couple weeks late. When my family arrived for the holiday, obviously it was family time and I was not thinking about editing any videos. Thank you for your patience and thanks for sticking with me through this like kind of last minute 5-week room transformation. I truly cannot be more pleased with how this came out. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for watching.